Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo! Oh, I caught it! I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. I'm like so impressed I caught that. It was like way over here. The album, available to you in 4532 BC. The album, Dad, AF. Can you guess it? Hills are alive with the sound of Peter. Because drama class is in session. Do you have your number 2 pencil? The musical, Peter Monn, the drama channel, coming to you in 2022. How are you guys doing today? Happy Tuesday. All right, let's get into today's video. Listen, first of all, I have to tell you, okay, I made a management decision. I don't know if I'll stick to this management decision, but I made a management decision. I have been shouting out people's birthdays left and right. I get so many messages every single day. And I was actually reading a comment yesterday that I got on my video from yesterday. And somebody said something about, it's so nice that you shout out the birthdays, don't feel like you have to do it, blah, 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 whatever. And there was a response to it, and the response said, it's really only fun for the person whose birthday it is, which I'm like, I knew that, right? But they're like, it's only really fun for the person whose birthday it is. For everybody else, most people just like fast forward through it. And I was like, you know, I think maybe it would be better if I saved the birthday shout outs for the end of the video. I don't know, you guys let me know. And if I can still keep them at the beginning of the video, but if you guys like them there, I'll keep them. But I was like, maybe I'll put them at the end of the video. That way, for those of you that don't want to hear the birthday shout outs or anything. But then somebody, I think the same person said, well, maybe it was a different person said, but be careful because you might miss your shout out. It's the truth too. I shout out random people all the time, people that tweet me stuff and whatever. I just happen to pick some people here and there and just randomly shout them out. So anyway, let me know what you think is best for where I should put them, but I think I'm going to put them at the end of the video. The other thing is, as you know, I had started this thing where I was including my picture in a lot of the thumbnails, but as the videos were getting kind of serious, I thought, I don't know how I feel about putting my picture and being kind of like funny, haha, tongue-in-cheek in a thumbnail of a very serious video. So I kind of stopped for a couple videos, and then I started again, and honestly, it really has a lot to do with what my day looks like. If I have an hour to put a thumbnail together, as if I ever, it takes me about 5 minutes to do a thumbnail. I'm sure that surprises most of you out there, but if I have a little bit longer, then I put my picture in there so you guys can, you know, play Where's Waldo with Peter. Where's Peter? But sometimes I don't. But so many times I get comments and people are like, is Peter there? I can't find him or whatever. So today I will try to put my picture in the thumbnail. So go find it. But that was something that I had started. So anyway, I just wanted to announce those two things. Woo! Let's get into talking about today's video. Now, I have to tell you, there's really not a whole lot of drama going on. There's not a whole lot of drama going on. But I wanted to make a video because I love making videos. That's why I have 6 channels. And, you know, the thing is, I get so many comments from you guys that are like, at the end of the day, blah, 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 you're so helpful, whatever. I got a comment yesterday from somebody that said they work in the emergency room, and at the end of the day, this is like watching my videos is kind of their way to unwind, and I just thought that is the nicest thing for anybody to say. So I like to make videos. I try to make them almost every single day because I know that there are people out there that enjoy them, and thank you. I really, really appreciate it. It was interesting because, you know, I don't really get a lot of hate comments on my videos. I just don't, you know? And I happen to watch, there's a YouTube couple that I like. Well, they're actually TikTokers, but they've now transitioned over to YouTube. And their names are Chris and Ian. And I really, really like watching their videos. My husband watches their videos, and we laugh and whatever, and they do pranks. So Chris is always doing pranks on Ian, right? So I went to one of their videos. I can't remember which video it was, but I was really, really surprised at how many anti-gay comments that they get on their videos. I mean, I was floored, honestly. Like, I don't get those kind of comments, and if I do, it's very, very rare. But it was like, every comment was like, are you gay? You're gay. Like, your voice is gay. You walk gay. You all this kind of stuff. I don't know who these people are that are commenting squid on those videos, but it's 2021. okay? If you are somebody out there that is making fun of somebody's effeminate voice, which I'm not even saying that they have, but people have in the past made fun of my effeminate voice or my movements or the way I talk or whatever, you're ignorant and you're a bigot. And I'm sorry, but there's no other way to say it nicely. And if you're an influencer out there that is supporting comments like that, then you're ignorant and you're a bigot as well. And if that is somebody that's coming from the LGBTQIA plus community, you're doing more damage than good to your own community, and I think it's really, really sad. And it made me really sad to see all these comments on their video. These are just two nice guys that are having a great time together and are sharing their relationship with the world, and they had all of these really, really nasty comments on their videos, and I was like, this is so sad. But in that same comment, I thought to myself, it is so nice that I don't receive those comments on my videos. So I just want to say thank you so much for being genuinely kind and compassionate to me. I really, really appreciate it. You know, there's, I think, so many harsh things that people could say coming to my videos, and I really don't get that on any of my channels. I mean, every once in a while, I'll get a comment from somebody that says, why do you talk like a 16-year-old girl, and you're too much, I can't listen to you. And I'm like, yes, I'm too much, I'm too much. Ah! You're not going to water me down. Like I said yesterday, you're just not. You're not going to water me down. And you know what I realize? I'm not for everybody. I get that, okay? And there's going to be people out there that don't like me, and there's going to be people out there that don't like you, okay? There's going to be people out there that you and I are too much for, and that's okay. And you know what? I hope they find their magic, because obviously they're living in a lot of sadness, and I just want to bring brightness to people's lives. So anyway, for those of you that do like watching my videos, I want to say thank you, and it means a lot to me. All right, because of that, I was like looking at all this stuff going on. There really wasn't a lot of drama that I wanted to talk about today. So I was like, what should I talk about? What should I talk about? And so I remembered that on the 25th, I had put out a tweet. I also put it on Instagram where I said, time for another opinions video. What would you like to hear my opinion on? Anything pop culture or YouTube related will be used in a video. So I'm going to go through here and I am going to read some of these questions that people ask me. I'm going to try to pick things that I've either kind of just briefly talked about or things that I haven't talked about in the way that I was asked, if that makes sense. And I'm going to try to give, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if they're popular opinions or unpopular opinions. Hell, I don't know, okay? They're just my opinions. And I always say this about opinions, okay? We've all got them. It's like, you know what. All right, so the first question, I'm just going to go through here and kind of pick out some. Katie said, what's your opinion on people in the recovery community using marijuana? Commonly referred to as Cali sober. Coming from someone who is loyal to AA and NA, I'm curious to know your opinion. I personally left NA because of the amount of hate I got when I brought up getting a marijuana maintenance card. 3 years sober, she said. So I will tell you that my opinion has changed about this a lot through the years, okay? And for those of you that don't know, my sobriety birth date is December 17th, 1994. It's the day I got sober. I have been sober 26 plus years at this time. I work a 12-step program, and I'm very active in a 12-step program. I have a sponsor. She has a sponsor. I sponsor, I'm sponsorable, I work 12-step program, like I said, I do service work, and I'm very involved in a 12-step program. I have a home group, and I think all those things are, for me, important to note, like that is what I call working a 12-step program, okay? 12-step programs, the majority of them, they believe in abstinence from any habit-forming functions or any habit-forming substances that will make you mood-altering substances. So the question is, how do I feel about marijuana as far as people using it? Well, let me tell you, for very, very many years, I felt that you were not sober, considered sober, if you use marijuana from a 12-step point of view, okay? And then about, I would say, about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, well, first of all, I will say this. The exception to that for me were people that were on Suboxone, which is a buprenorphine, but it's now called Suboxone. If they're medically managed on Suboxone, because Suboxone is a long-term maintenance drug that is to help people detox off of opioids. And at that point, my perspective kind of shifted a lot. I'm being like really, really honest about this in probably a way that I haven't ever been honest on video before about how I feel about all of this. So it is what it is. And this is just one person's opinion. I'm not representative of any 12-step program. This is just my experience. This is just my opinion about this. So when a lot of people started getting on Suboxone, my opinion kind of started to shift and change, because I was like, Well, if people are staying alive and they are not dying from opioid overdoses and they're working programs but they're on Suboxone, I'm okay with that. Like, you know, they're still working a 12-step program, and there's a lot of people in 12-step programs that are not okay with that, okay? But for me, I'm like, they're still alive. You know, they're not dying, and they're doing what their doctors are telling them, and they're going to outpatient groups, or they're going to 12-step meetings, and they have a sponsor, and they're working a program, right? So for me, I was like, I want to get to the point where we're just saving lives. That's how I felt about it, okay? But marijuana has always been kind of like a touchy subject within 12-step programs. Specifically, I would say certain 12-step programs, you know, because they call it the marijuana maintenance program. And it's kind of been like this joke where you would hear that, oh, I quit all this, but I still smoke pot, and that's called the marijuana maintenance program, right? And I really didn't believe in it for a long time. And let me tell you why, okay? Because this one, and I can only share my experience, when I smoked pot all day, every day, okay? We called it pot back in the day. Mary Jane, you know that. We didn't call it weed. We did, you know, we did like an eighth or a quarter, not ounces. I don't even know ounces and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so I knew for me that I could not successfully smoke pot because as a person in recovery, as an addict, okay, and an alcoholic, for me, if I smoked pot, I would smoke every day, all day. I know that about myself. That's not necessarily true of some people out there, right? And I'm, for those of you that don't watch my vlog, or you haven't heard me talk about this, I talk a lot about, I believe in the decriminalization of marijuana. I don't believe that we should be, you know, incarcerating people for it anymore. I think the recidivism rate in the state of Indiana is something like 80% of women who have been to prison reoffend based on failed drug screens, which means that we have a lot of kids in foster care. We have a lot of women that are incarcerated for failed drug screens for marijuana. So, and that's just one state. There's a lot of issues that go along with that, not to mention the money, okay? So I'm really, really big on the decriminalization of marijuana. That being said, when you talk about a 12-step program, I really felt pretty strongly about this, that if you smoke pot, you're not sober. That's how I felt, right? And then about 10 or 12 years ago, somebody asked me to sponsor them and was super honest and said, hey, but I want to tell you, like, I'm not ready to quit smoking pot yet. And I didn't really know what to do with it. And I went to my sponsor and I said, well, what do you think about this? And I also knew that there were other people that I knew that were smoking pot. And my sponsor at the time, he said, how is it any of your business what these people do? Maybe it works for them. Maybe it works for them. And I was like, okay. And he goes, but how comfortable do you feel in sponsoring somebody that smokes pot? Because that philosophy is different than your philosophy. So on a personal philosophical level, for me, I can't smoke pot, okay? But I don't know that that doesn't work for somebody else. And so I don't know that this California sober doesn't work for somebody else. It might, okay? That's why I say I wish them the best, and I hope that they are able to stay sober through that and have successful lives. For me, that's not the case. For me, I can't do that. And I can only speak of my experience. So that's kind of my answer to all of that. You know, I think we're going to see a lot of different things. I mean, really what we're talking about is moderation, okay? We're talking about people learning to use certain substances in moderation. For this addict alcoholic who my last time going to treatment was my 5th time going to treatment, and I had had many attempts before that, I had tried many times to smoke pot and use other substances recreationally in moderation, and it didn't work. So for me, complete abstinence is the only way to go. But I don't know for other people. And, you know, and I'm at a point today in my life where I would rather have people be living and alive and have a possibility at success than splitting hairs over what that means. And that's where I'm at today in my life. So that's how I feel about all that. All right, the next question. Let's see what the next question is. Brian David asked, Brian comments on everything, every one of my videos. He's always there, right front and center. Hello, Brian, how are you? And he said chocolate. Well, I love chocolate. I am highly obsessed with chocolate. M&Ms are my favorite. And let's see, what else? I mean, anything chocolate. I used to be like, oh, I don't like almonds in my chocolate, or I don't like this, but I'll eat anything chocolate now. I just absolutely love chocolate. Okay, let's pick something else. Tracy said Gabby Hanna needs serious help, not joking. I've made so many Gabby Hanna videos at this time, I don't even know what to think about it anymore. Someone said, would you ever try to do 5-minute hacks? I mean, I might. I don't know. Someone said, Crystal said, Peter, thoughts on Gabby? And this, you guys have to remember that these questions were like 2 weeks ago. Do you think that James Charles will ever be charged? No, I don't think that James Charles will. That's just my gut response to that, having watched, Emily Baker. By the way, congratulations on 100,000 subscribers, Emily. That's so exciting. But watching her stuff, no. And, I I don't really know much legally about stuff. So, but I think if anything were going to happen like that, I feel like it probably would have already happened. And that's just my gut opinion on things. I don't know anything about that. And my thoughts on Gabby Hanna. Well, if you haven't watched my last 15 videos about Gabby Hanna, I think the whole thing started because she really just like had this moment. I don't know. She heard a song or something and it inspired her. And then somebody said, Gabby, you shouldn't let people talk to you like that anymore. And she said, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't let anybody talk to me like that anymore. And then she started this whole, I'm going to defend myself to the masses. And I think it really started there. And then somewhere out there, she threw in this 12-part series that she said that she was going to do, that I don't know if it's even been done. I don't know if it was really being planned or if it was not. I think she wants to be Trisha Paytas so bad she can't handle it because she sees that Trisha is successful in a way that I think that Gabby wants to be successful. And I think that Gabby does not realize that she is pushing her true fans and stands away by what she is doing. And I think that, you know, to come out and acknowledge that you troll, like, for me, it's just like, I don't really understand that. Like, so you're doing all of these hurtful things that are hurting some of your own fans because they don't get it, and the things that you're talking about are offensive to your own fans, and yet it's for trolling. Who are you trolling? Like, that's my question. Are you trolling yourself? Are you trolling other people? Is this just a big joke to you? Because trolling is really a form of comedy, right? So if it is, then who's the joke on, you know? And I read in my video yesterday about Oscar Wilde, how he's been, like, greatly affected by this. And, you know, whatever, if we take Trisha's word on it, the video that Trisha put up about how Trisha was greatly affected by Gabby Hanna and Gabby's actions, and there are other people, and it's just like, where does it stop, you know? And I think this is the thing for me, is I think that sometimes they don't realize, you know, some of these bigger YouTubers, that there is a classier, more tactful way to handle all these situations, you know? And I was taught years ago that when you go through things in life, if in that moment you're not reactive, but you're responsive, that they're teaching moments for people. Gabby has her finger on the pulse of a lot of people that are watching her, and this could have been a teaching moment for her to them, right? Like, and I'm not saying as a teacher, like, about ADHD. Okay, that's a whole completely other thing, right? Like, I think she needs to be very, very careful about the information or the misinformation that she's putting out there, if she is, right? But what it could have been is a teaching moment to say, you know what, like, I'm really hurt that people are coming and they're critiquing negatively my artwork. You know, maybe I need to be more open-minded to that. Maybe I need to take a look at what people are saying and be really like, hey, if I want to be the best ever, I can be. But that's hard for me because it's personal and it really hurts. But I, to this moment, have not witnessed a genuinely authentic moment from Gabby Hanna where she gets on camera and just is honest with her audience. It's always, let me tell you about what this person did wrong to me and hurt me. We did that in first grade, okay? We did, Johnny telling on Tommy, telling on Judy Smith, okay? We did that, let me tell on somebody stuff. I'm 48 years old. I don't have the need to tell on somebody today, okay? Maybe I won't have the feeling inside that I want to do it, but in the long run, like, all of that attention that I could be spending pointing out, telling you guys, if you knew what this person did to me, if you knew what that person did to me, and I came out and I told you all that, you guys would be like, really? Well, I didn't know about that. Well, now that makes me think differently about this person. What am I really ultimately trying to prove? To get you to dislike somebody else? Is that what my need is? Do I have such obsession and hatred for somebody else? Have they put me whatever through something that I really want you to know what this person did? Because then I'll be vindicated? Is that really what this is all about? Okay, Gabby. You know, and it's not just Gabby. There's a lot of people that do this. Why don't you take that attention and flip it and spend it on yourself, see? Because we only have a limited amount of time here on this earth. So I don't want to spend all that time focused on other people and telling on them. I would rather focus my attention on me and working on me being the best person that I can possibly be, you know? So that's what I think about Gabby and all that. Okay. Let's see. A lot of people are asking me about some of these, like, documentaries that I still haven't watched. Okay, hold on a second. The upcoming True Hollywood story about the YouTube beauty community, guru community. What do you think they will cover? What do you think they should cover? Said Noelle. And somebody responded, Hollywood 40 plus, responded and said, good idea. Okay, well, I've known about this documentary for quite some time. No, I'm not in it. I wasn't asked. I do know that there are some drama channels that are involved in this as well. It was interesting because Trisha Paytas came out recently and they said that they were interviewed for this documentary, but it was like so long ago that what they said about Jeffree Star was completely different than what they feel today. I thought that was really interesting because from what I know, I talked to somebody a while ago about this documentary, okay? Like, I'm talking 2020, you know? And they had already been interviewed for the documentary long before I talked to this person about it. So it's interesting to me. I'm starting to think, like, this documentary is going to be so dated unless they're going to do, I don't know, maybe they're doing updates on it or not. That's what I think about it, you know? All right, let's see. Let's see another one. A lot of people are asking me about B. Lucille's newest video on the future of the beauty community, and if so, what are your thoughts? I have not watched the video yet, and I do know that it's dated at this point, so I need to hear about it. Okay, let's see. If you ever want to cover astrology, influencer drama, that would be super interesting. I don't know anything about it. But I do know that there is a lot of drama right now within the slot community. Did you know that? Oh my God. And about how, like, some people, there's this guy that's real famous. One of my friends was explaining this to me. She's not a YouTuber or anything like that, but she, you know, loves casino and all that. And she watches all of it. And she was telling me, she said that there's this, like, whole thing about that during, like, the lockdown and stuff, that this guy, like, had certain contracts with casinos, so he kept on getting to go to the casinos or something for his slot channel where other people weren't. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, yeah. So I'm going to try to find out some of this tea and drama. Tea? I hardly ever say tea. Anyway, I'm going to try to find some of this tea on the slot community and some of the other communities and talk about them. Gwendolyn asked me, that video of those insane people making the sherbet punch in the toilet, I didn't see it and I think that's disgusting. I could care less. You can only have one, the Heathers or Mean Girls. God, they're so completely different videos or movies, but I would definitely, I think, watch Mean Girls more. I like Mean Girls still when it comes on today. I think it's funny. I think the writing is hilarious. It's like Bridesmaids. Like, we watched Bridesmaids this weekend and Pretty Woman. Those are two movies that I could watch over and over and over again. It was so funny because we were like, came into the tail end of Bridesmaids, and I said to my friend on this trip, I said, oh my God, I've seen this movie like thousands of times, you know? And then it was the part where they can't find her friend at the end for the wedding, and so they're driving past and forth, like his police car, and he won't talk to her. And I said, but I can't, I've watched it so many times, but I can't remember why they're mad at each other. Like, I don't remember. So anyway, that was that. All right, I have not seen Serpent on Netflix, but we just watched the first 2 episodes of this season of Pose. And it is so fantastic, you guys. And speaking of addiction, if you don't know, this season they're focusing a lot on addiction and recovery, and they do it from a 12-step point of view, and they talk about interventions on there. And I was actually just talking about this in my vlog. I was really, really impressed in the way that they handled it. That, like, you know when you watch shows about something that you know about personally, and you take it very personally, it's like, I want to see if they get this right. And they do. They get it really, really right. Like, they did the research, or one of the writers is in recovery, or I don't know. So that was interesting. And I think it was very educational. Favorite tarot card readers. Aphrodite. Aunt is a really good friend of mine. And also B. Lucille. So I just haven't been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately as part of it. Okay. Let's see. Kristen asked, at this point in your eyes, do you think Shane could actually do anything to redeem himself from all the nonsense he's done? To some people, I do. Yeah, I do. I think that if Shane came back and he made a video and he said, hey, you guys, it's been, you know, well, I did a whole video speculating about what he'll do. But if he came back and just, like, got honest with his audience and said, like, I realized I really screwed up. I missed YouTube. Like, I really mentally struggled in the last year. And said that, because he has said that on Instagram stories, and that I'm in a good space now, and I'm ready to come back to YouTube. Like, Shane always puts that stuff out there and kind of doesn't remember that the reason that he's not on YouTube is not, I guess it is his choice. I mean, I guess he could have just kept on posting videos, right? But it's a result, who is calling me? Not my husband. Hello, husband. But it's as a result of everything that happened that he chose to go away for a while, you know? So he always kind of, like, that to me is also a little bit like, well, it's a way of spinning kind of like how you want people to perceive you. But do I think that he could come back? Yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there that are on the fence about Shane that would receive him back and would be like, well, I'm going to continue to watch him. It's been a while. Hopefully he's learned and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I do. Not with everybody. I think Shane Dawson regaining the kind of fame that he had when he was doing the Jeffree Star series, I don't think that will ever happen again. I just don't. I think there are people that are completely just done with him. But do I think that he could come back and still have a major following on YouTube? Absolutely. And I think he knows that. I think he knows that, you know? Okay, but I think everything he does will be very, very closely watched from here on out. Okay, hold on a second. Let's see. I have not watched The Circle. Everybody's telling me it's really, really good. Drag Race announcing the winner 14 seconds later on social media, or shows in general spoiling the finale. I hate that, okay? And I did notice that about RuPaul's Drag Race, you know, congratulating Simone or whatever, putting that out like moments after. And I was like, and this was the thing I said to my husband that night, I said, I want to watch it like right as it's on, because if not, it will be ruined for me while I'm like going through Twitter. And I just could not like look at Twitter at all the entire time that we were watching the show, which was totally fine with me, you know? But it's like, if people ruin shows all don't ruin shows for other people. Don't do that, you know? I mean, I think, like, give it 2 weeks or 2 days. Not 2 weeks, it's a long time, but give it a 2-day grace period, you know, for people. And then I actually noticed other people. I think it was Nina West that tweeted out congratulations to the winner of, you know, RuPaul's Drag Race, which I thought was cool. Chromatica, I love Lady Gaga. Not my favorite, though. But I love her so much. Okay. Let's see. My opinion on what Trisha and Ethan should cosplay as next. I don't know. That's a really, really good question. Oh my God, do you know what would be so funny if they did? And just because I love them. Like, one of my favorite movies in the entire world is the Muppet movie. Janice is my favorite Muppet, by the way. But it would be really funny if they did like the two of the Muppets. I think that would be really, really cute, you know? Or, because that's more cosplay anyway, is doing like, you know, like cartoons and things like that, right? Who else would I, well, this is so bad, but have you ever seen Trisha's video? It's the breakfast mukbang from like years ago. It's one of my favorite videos that Trisha ever did. And Trisha looks exactly like Marilyn Monroe. I would love to see Marilyn Monroe and like John F. Kennedy, and them do that together, you know? That would be, whew, that would stir some waves, don't you think? People are like, really? I don't get it. What? I know, that's an old conspiracy. Okay, so many people are asking me about Demi Lovato and the California sober thing. Okay. And you know what? So many people are asking me about Jeff Wittick's accident and like his video, put it out and stuff like that. And I actually haven't watched that, and I need to watch that. Sometimes that's the kind of stuff that like for me is like so serious that it just like brings me down, and I don't love to watch it, so I don't always watch it. Okay, well, I mean, Emily said, opinion of RuPaul's winner, Simone. I'm huge fan of Simone. I love Simone. Let's see. Do you think this is from Ashley, do you think James Charles will lose even more of his career? Do you see him coming back the way he did after By Sisters? It's interesting to me because he didn't lose the amount of subscribers that he did with the whole By Sisters thing, right? Which makes me think that he, his career is gonna be affected in other ways, not by losing subscribers. That people will kind of hang on, but I don't think that he'll get the views that he was getting before, and he definitely won't get the sponsorships. And I think that I think James Charles in the next 5 or so years will kind of phase out of all of this. I really, really do. I don't think people really understand the implication that all of this is gonna have on his long-term career. So, what's that? Let's see. If you could only opinions on Gigi Gorgeous, do you still watch her? Said Kayla. From time to time, I do. I watch her. She did a really great coming out video recently, and I don't want to like ruin it for anybody, so go watch it. And then Ashley asked me if you could only have one condiment, would you pick ranch, ketchup, barbecue, or mayo? I mean, ranch all the way. I'm from Indiana. And then let me give out just a few birthday shout outs really quick before the video is over. Hold on a second. Okay, Acacia I want to say happy anniversary to Acacia and Acacia's wife. Today is their 2-year anniversary. Congratulations. I also would like to give a happy birthday from Olivia to her best Judy in the whole world, Ashley. Happy birthday. And I think that's it. So anyway, I love you guys. Let me know what you thought about all that in the comment section below, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.